I decided to move myself to the left side of the screen here because I'm looking this way at my monitor, and it makes more sense that I be looking at the music with you guys than looking off into the middle of nowhere. So this will be how it is for now. I decided to make some music out of the little virtual Riot sound design experiment we did yesterday. We were trying to make this sound he had where there was kind of this like one initial sound and then another sound reverberating and echoing around in the background. His sounded much different than that, but that was kind of the sound that I landed on that I liked, and I went and changed up a lot of the MIDI notes to give us kind of a different musical idea, and then just started kind of going from there. The next thing that was in my ear was this bass. I just wanted kind of like a low bass, so while these guys rolling around, I wanted this sort of sound. I built this sound from scratch. Bass is just two saw waves, one down an octave, one up a fifth. The one down an octave has 3 voices, and then there's also a sub, kind of very, very low level sub. Not a lot of sub there. Didn't want it to become too sinusoidal. And then this filter, giving it kind of that dun 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 sort of sound here. It's a very, it's a subtle thing. I guess it's not that subtle actually, but it's not. It's not. It does still sound like it's one note that's being affected rather than sounding like a bunch of separate notes. It's going do 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 do. It's a pop 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 pop. It's bum 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 bum, which is nice. Some dimension, none of the hyper here. Some distortion, some chorus, some compression, an equalizer just to take some bit off the top there. Also a bit of noise on the hum here. Just a little bit extra detail for the distortion and the filter to deal with to make that sound. Then for the drums, this melancholy groove. This is a groove we built for exactly this purpose, so that when I had an idea and I was like, I just want to kind of make drum and bass, I can just slap this in and just call the drums done. And then if it's a track I really like, I can go back and fine tune it, take apart, to put in a different snare, put in some different bits and bobs there. There have been a few spots where I wanted some kick hits that the groove didn't give me. So if I were to finish this track, I would go and add those hits in there. But this is the drums from I Am Here Tonight right now. This is like straight up the exact drums I'm using in that track. Because when we built the Melancholy Groove, that project turned into I Am Here Tonight, just the same way that this Virtual Riot sound up here is now turning into another song as well. From that point, we needed some topper stuff. The next thing I added was this choir. This is just a choir patch that originally sounded like this. Nice long little notes there. Those are now have been processed into this. There's a nice fun little detail there, and when you put it with the other things we've got going on. I'm not gonna lie, part of me likes that almost better than the finished product, where I have a few other topper sounds going on there. There's a purity to that. I really like this choir sound with this is just 2 tremolos we have automating to come in and out. I originally was bypassing them, and then I realized no, let's just pull it down to basically 0. Oh, I was wondering why I was hearing a bit of tremolo even in the spots where I'm like, it's not supposed to be here. It's because this one, I forgot to pull this information all the way down to 0. But you know what? It's there now, and I don't mind it. But the other things we did end up adding, this guy here. This is a sound we found in Alchemy, a good just little patch here. It was one of their kind of plucky sounds, and I'm for some reason struggling to bring it up here. Crispy glide lead. We turned down a bit of the glide part of the glide lead there, the glidamento, and then EQ'd off a lot of the low end, put an OTT on it, put a tremolo on it, and EQ'd it again to deal with the extra frequencies OTT and added, and it gave us that. Just this kind of like this groove that's supposed to sit in the background and not really supposed to be super attention grabbing, but and then lastly we have this lead here, this lead that originally started life as a plucked pad sound down here, and mostly has maintained that same shape here. It's just this. Those are kind of like drum hit sort of sounds you hear coming from the Shaper Box glider here. I say that as I literally want to try and remove them right now here. Actually, if I just do this. That takes away a lot of it there, that helps. And then the last thing that's going on there is a compressor that is side changed to our bingy sound here. Just so it'll get out of its way. Those two are kind of doing a nice call and response, and overall it gives us this. Also a fun tip for any producers who are like, I have a really cool riser, like, or I have a really cool crash sort of sound, but I can't find a good like crash to put with my riser or a good riser to put with my crash. Just take the whichever one you have and reverse it, and it makes a really nice seamless sort of sound here. This is literally this crash, this drum crash flipped around, and listen to this. You could probably even cut away that little the transient, that click there. I don't mind because it's happening at a very clicky spot anyways. But yeah, super smooth there. Fun little tip that I think is probably pretty obvious to a lot of other people, but hadn't been obvious to me until today. So that's all we made today. I have no idea if I'll make this into a full track, but it was kind of a fun trancy DMB sort of sound to make, and I was really happy with this bass. That was basically exactly what I imagined. I was able to make it exactly as it was in my ear. That felt really satisfying. But yep, that's all we have time for today. Thanks so much for watching. See you guys tomorrow. Bye-bye.